Let's move on to biosecurity.
Yes. Now, this has been a theme for many a month, but it's very much ramping up. And of course, as autumn falls upon us, there is the suggestion for not just humans, but also animals that infectious diseases are on the rise. And we have the Animal and Plant Health Agency sort of at the epicenter of this, really, putting out a tweet that's been forwarded by the chief vet, Christine Middlemiss, with her little Ukraine flag, which has nothing to do with veterinary science. But they're talking about veterinary surveillance news, so giving the impression that they're keeping very close tabs on everything that's happening across the United Kingdom landscape. And indeed, that does seem to be the case, at least as far as the internet's concerned. You can now go to a website and pick your chosen disease and find out what it's affecting, where and how. And this is being reinforced by ministers from Defra, hand in glove, of course, with the NFU, the National Farmers Union, as per always. Now, I think the particular situation does bear closer scrutiny in terms of the detail. Middlemiss, that I've just referred to, has tweeted just last week that Bluetongue 3 is spreading across Europe. I have confirmed the virus in one animal imported with other cattle which are negative to Devon. This animal has been culled and the others will be repeat tested. This is our standard post-import practice. Now, I've pulled out what I think is the most significant clause there, which is the others will be repeat tested. It's like leaving the European Union. If you get the wrong result, you just do it again. And of course, the alarming thing is the powers to cull what could be perfectly healthy animals. And this is the time to pull out the old adage, which of course is that the PCR test, according to its designer, its inventor, Carrie Mullis, may not be used as a diagnostic tool. It cannot predict whether or not something will be ill. It does not provide evidence of a virus, and it certainly may not tell you whether one organism will make another organism ill. Nonetheless, it is exactly what APHA hang almost everything they own off. They also describe themselves as being working to safeguard animal and plant health for the benefit of people, the environment, and the economy. But most tellingly, in their priorities for 2025, leading up to 2025, they are protecting the UK by introducing the new border target operating model, which essentially is to do with movement of plants and animals across borders, and protecting the UK from animal and plant-related threats to human health. Now, I spoke about this most recently on the 29th of May on the news, and I sent a Freedom of Information request into APHA specifically to do with expanding nitrogen foam and methods for the mass culling of poultry. I asked them a number of questions, and I'll just pick out some of the answers that they gave me. Essentially, what are they going to do if there is to be a mass depopulation exercise of poultry? They say they have upgraded, and they've got 12 new Mark III containerized gassing units stored across APHA depots, capable of being deployed across England, Scotland and Wales. They've also enhanced their training to include the newer culling methods, like using nitrogen foam, whole house gassing, and also alternative methods for fertilized egg destruction. So they are going about it absolutely wholesale. Indeed, even increasing the number of authorized firearms officers up from 5 to 13 in response to the demand for culling infected game birds in release pens. So there's a lot to be digested. But I think given the way we're being pushed as humans, as I say, and this constant suggestion that zoonoses mean that any animal getting ill presents a risk to humans getting ill, I think the most significant part that they gave me in their answer on the Freedom of Information request was concerning vaccinations for humans, because they say that APHA employees do not require any inoculations or vaccinations to undertake avian influenza work. Now, I think that would be one to cut out and keep in the scrapbook for such time as it becomes effectively more being pushed into our lives, specifically with regard to human health. And I've just got a video that shows the direction that I think we're going in, because this was when Catherine Middlemiss herself Christine Middlemiss was working in New South Wales, Australia, and this was the legislation that came in with the emphasis on collective responsibility. So let's have a quick look at this.
Produce and safe food. Biosecurity can often be taken for granted, But it's so important to maintain our $12 billion primary industry sector, strong international reputation and lifestyle that is the envy of many. In New South Wales, we are improving how we manage our biosecurity with a new Biosecurity Act. This new piece of legislation brings together 14 separate acts and introduces the concept of shared responsibility through the General Biosecurity Duty. The General Biosecurity Duty recognises that everyone has a role to play in protecting our state from biosecurity risks. The Act provides a modern and flexible framework to manage risks and support business. And we need your input before it comes into effect in 2017. We now need to develop the regulations and policies that will spell out what you and government need to do to share the responsibility in managing biosecurity risks.
So as you see, shared responsibility at its core, and that is really what the biosecurity state is built around. Now, you might be wondering, why is it that this gets to go ahead at all? And it's because there are compensation scales. So Defra putting out information with APHA about what poultry farmers in particular can get. And they say that government has powers to cull in order to control the spread of diseases. And for bird flu and Newcastle disease, you'll get compensation for any healthy birds that are culled by government. So I think the big question that falls out of that is, why are farmers consenting to have animals tested when they should know that the test is not worth the paper it is not even written on? And indeed, there is no mechanism by which illness can be discerned in these creatures. So effectively, they are trying to deny, at the same time as offering compensation, that very compensation. There's a lot more to come out on this as we go into autumn and winter.
Charles, thank you. Now let's